So the gimbal's only really meant to stabilize the roll, the pan, and the tilt for unwanted movements.
3-axis gimbal.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but the only thing it can't do is control how high the camera is.
Okay.
And that's entirely based on you. So if you start walking without thinking about it, just like you're going to get something from the fridge,
Yeah.
you're going to get this really bobbing, fishing, swimming, floating movement.
Swimming. If you're a novice gimbal operator, I see this all the time. It's the swimming motion, because when you walk, you don't realize this when you're walking, but you're actually stepping up and down with every step.
Exactly. So the idea behind that is a lot of people typically will end up shooting from the hip or waist level because that feels natural and normal.
And it's comfortable because you're operating all day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So once you flip your camera over, if your gimbal system allows that, you've changed the camera from hanging below the handles to sitting above them.
More eye level.
So more eye level. So
Yeah.
you actually have, without changing any of your body position, you've brought the camera up a full foot or more.
I see. So a lot of the time when I see gimbal footage, I will see it. It is between the shoulders and the waist. And that is a dynamic angle, and it's sometimes very useful. However, if all of your footage is from this angle,
You're
you get a
not
little
being
boring.
selective. Yeah, you're not trying to make sure that your camera elevation is telling the same story as everything else. Posture is important because obviously this is almost the same thing as working out. You're taking a big heavy weight and you're throwing it in front of you and you're holding it there for minutes, hours at a time.
There's literally a weightlifting exercise called the truck driver, where you hold a weight in
Oh,
front of
really?
you. Yeah, that's
I should
basically a
try that
gimbal
one.
operation move.
It really is.
Yeah.
So obviously if you're doing this, if you're having bad posture, if you're arching your back, if you're putting all the weight in front of you, so it's putting a lot of strain on your shoulders, you're really breaking down your body. So what you want to watch out for is, letting go of the control of your back. You want to keep your back, your shoulders straight, your back straight. You want to make sure your shoulders are above your hips. You want to make sure you're not overextending yourself unnecessarily.
Okay.
Obviously, you still want the gimbal to clear your chest, but you want to bring that weight in as close as possible so you're not hyperextending yourself.
In terms of balancing correctly, what do you mean?
So a lot of times I'll see people that feel like they've actually achieved the proper balance, but as soon as they turn the gimbal off, you'll see it take a nosedive or roll off to the side. And that really does mean that it was balanced improperly and that the motors were working harder to get it to the neutral position.
So even if you're just holding the gimbal straight and if you're balancing correctly, your motors are working, you're wasting battery.
Yeah, you're wasting headroom that it can use to, correct problems. But if it's already using 20% of its strength
I see.
just to keep it level,
Yeah.
then you have 20% less in case you start running and need to, maintain that even horizon.
Save energy? What does that mean?
So unfortunately, this is fatiguing work, and the more that you can save yourself for the actual shot, the better. So that's simple as finding ways to get the gimbal to frame the shot for the director or the DP ahead of time, so you're not sitting there holding it. You can set it up on a C-stand, or you can set it down on its own stand, so that way they can see the space. You
So
don't
if
have
you're
to.
just framing the shot, don't bring the gimbal.
Well, don't bring the operator.
Yeah, don't bring the operator just to frame the shot if you're just testing out things. If you don't need to have that gimbal up, don't have it up, save that energy.
Exactly. Accessorizing your gimbal package. Well, one of the first things you're going to want is a monitor.
Okay, why do you need that?
Well, you're going to need to be able to see what you're doing, and not all cameras are going to have a built-in screen, and even if they do, that's not going to be readily accessible to you on a gimbal. So you're going to want something that can be placed comfortably and allow you to see what you're shooting.
On the actual grip of the gimbal.
On the grip of the handle.
Okay, and then the second thing, what else do you need?
So like we talked about previously, you're going to want to be able to control your focus, whereas you can constantly work at the same distance as your subject.
So you're keeping your subject in the same focus plane.
Exactly. You can do that, but a lot of times people are going to want to rack the focus or have you change that distance between you and the subject. So you need some way to do that, and typically you're going to want to do that wirelessly, because grabbing all the cameras, again, ruining the whole effect.
You can't touch the camera while it's on a gimbal. You've got this 3-axis thing, so you need something else that's going to pull the focus while you're operating your gimbal at the same time.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So there you have it. There's your episode of 4-Minute Film School on the top 9 things that every gimbal operator needs to know. I'm Ted from the A-Team.
And I'm Casey. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at McBro_FTW.
McBro_FTW. Reach out to Casey for any questions that you have, or you can leave any comments below on anything that you guys want to learn or any questions that you have. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.